Good morning, everyone. This is Malu Gonzalez in the system office. I see that we have two of our three committee members present. So with that, I'll turn the call over to Chair Scott.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the telephonic planning and construction meeting for Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. The time's 11 a.m. Notice of the meeting was provided to the Secretary of State as required by Texas Government Code. Please note the audio of this meeting is being broadcast live. Malu, let's begin with a roll call.
Sounds good. Thank you. And I see that you're present. Regent Austin.
Present.
Thank you. Regent Flores.
Present.
And do we have Regent Gordy on the call? All right, moving to our system staff, Chancellor McCall.
Here.
Daniel Harper.
Here.
Sean Cunningham.
Here.
Derek Alexander.
Here.
Mike Winmute.
Here.
Nelly Herrera.
Here.
Peter Mass.
Here.
Carol Fox.
Here.
Piers Mitchell.
Here.
Marjorie Flanagan.
Here.
Ramona Strickland.
Here.
Did I miss anyone from system staff? Okay, moving to our institutions and beginning with Lamar University.
Jaime Taylor here.
Mark Robinson.
Catherine Miller.
Thank you. Sam Houston. See that we have Amanda Withers. Moving to Saul Ross.
Carlos Hernandez.
Thank you. Texas State.
Kelly Danfus.
And Eric Algo.
Thank you. LIT.
Ed Valentine.
Thank you. Lamar State College Orange.
Wendy Elmore, Mary Wickland, and Tom Johnson.
Great, thank you. And Lamar State College Port Arthur.
Betty Renard and Mary Wickland.
Wonderful, thank you. Did I miss anyone? All right, that concludes roll call. I'll go ahead and turn it to you, Chair Scott.
Thank you, Malu. Daniel and I had an opportunity to review this agenda prior to the meeting. At this time, I'll ask Daniel to present the Planning and Construction Committee agenda items. Go ahead, Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we'll do two design development submissions, a master plan for a campus at Eagle Pass, the 2023 campus condition report, then we'll have the quarterly planning and construction report and one small consent item for the committee's consideration. The first item is the Sam Houston State design development documents for the Health Professions Building in Conroe. This is a $70 million building. This will be debt financed with 100% of the debt service reimbursed by the state. It's 82,000 square feet, 4-story building on Hoyt Drive. And this will fill out that triangle in Conroe between the College of Medicine, the parking garage, and then the proposed Health Professions Building. And then you'll remember at the previous meeting, the board did approve and Sam Houston did execute the purchase of approximately 5 acres of additional land between the interstate and the parking garage. The project's expected to be completed January of 2026. Smith Group is the architect, Kitchell is the contractor, and then I'll turn it over to Sam Houston to add any additional contextual comments they'd like.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Harper. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today regarding the construction of the Health Professions Building. This project marks a significant leap forward in our position in Montgomery County and our service to the healthcare community. We are all aware of the population growth that's occurring in Texas and the increased demand for healthcare services, and SHSU is not only capable but eager to step in the gap and prepare the healthcare leaders of tomorrow. And this building is this next step in that journey. The construction of this building is not just about expanding our physical footprint. It will serve as a hub for our health education programs that by providing cutting-edge facilities and resources that tie the indoor and outdoor classrooms together. So you'll notice on the design documents that the outdoor classrooms actually extend out of the physical therapy and athletic training as a way to really wrap around those students and provide them practical hands-on experience. We're very excited about this facility, and we expect it to attract top-tier talent while creating a student-centric environment for creativity and research to flow together. The building is really our representation of our dedication to rural healthcare, and it goes without saying that I'm very excited for the building and the opportunities that will follow, and I am happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Withers.
I have one question, and I don't need to get the answer to it now, but if y'all, unless you already know the answer, I was wondering how much we paid for the additional land that we bought from the developer that was adjacent to the original site.
4.8 million is what I have in my mind.
That is correct, Vice Chancellor.
Say again?
4.8 million.
4.8 million. Being interested in real estate development, I'm going to back that into dollars per square foot. But anyway, I'm very happy that we're moving forward with that development. Go ahead, Daniel, unless someone else has a question.
All right. Unless there's any other questions, Mr. Chairman, would you like to move this item to the full board for consideration?
Are there any objections to moving it to the board? Hearing none, Daniel, let's move this item to the board.
All right. The next item is the Sul Ross State University Master Plan for the Eagle Pass campus. This is a master plan for a satellite campus in Eagle Pass. This complements the existing overarching master plan for Sul Ross that the board considered and approved August of 2021. It's 100 acres of land on the northeast side of Eagle Pass. The master plan is broken out into 4 phases, a total of 19 facilities that is designed to adequately provide a comprehensive experience, including residential, for a student population of 10,000 students. And I believe Dr. Hernandez has some additional commentary he'd like to offer.
Yes, thank you, Vice Chancellor, Mr. Chair and Regents. We are beyond thrilled with the forward progress on this project, not only for Sul Ross, but for the stakeholders in Eagle Pass who have long dreamed of this opportunity in the Middle Rio Grande region. It's an era of growth in Texas, and with that growth comes a kind of need that can be filled with higher education. We got a big boost, of course, with the pledge donation of 100 acres from Eagle Pass Branch Partnership in 2022. And for that, we're exceptionally grateful. An independent four-year university in Eagle Pass is among the top pillars of our strategic plan for Sul Ross State University. And we're grateful for the support of the Master Plan Committee, including Vice Chancellors Harper and Hayek, Director of Capital Projects, Mr. Peter Moss, Eagle Pass community leaders, our dedicated students, faculty, and staff, and the entire Sul Ross leadership team who have contributed to this master plan. That concludes my comments, and I'm happy to respond to any questions.
Thank you, Doctor. Chairman Scott, unless there's any additional questions or comments from the committee, I guess I'll ask if you wish to refer this item to the full board for consideration.
Hearing no objections, we'll move it to the full board.
Thank you, sir. The next and the final action item is the Texas State University Design Development Documents for the STEM building in San Marcos. This is a $137 million building to be debt financed. 40% of the debt will be reimbursed by the state, and the remaining amount will be institutional debt, which is $85 million. And as a follow-up to our conversation yesterday, Texas State's debt profile is positioned well to handle this new obligation, as they've been planning for it for years. To provide some contextual information, Texas State's current debt, institutional debt, is $373 million. Of that, around 20% is for academic projects, so 75 million. Texas State's total debt service as a percent of operating expenses is right around 5%. Their debt service obligation is 42 million a year in total. The debt service on the institutional portion that's related to academics is right under 10 million. And then the designated tuition and HEAF are the two best funding sources to cover the additional annual debt service on that 85 million, which would be around $6 million per year. So just give some context to the funding for that. This building is 167,000 square feet, 8-story building. It's located by Supple Science, Ingram Hall for engineering, and then the new residence hall. It will house math and computer science. It's expected to be completed August of 26 in advance of the fall semester. PGAL is the architect. Skanska is the contractor on the project. And I will turn it over to Texas State for any additional context.
Thank you, Daniel. You stole all my thunder. You said about everything I was going to say, except that the STEM classroom building is on the campus master plan that was approved by the regents in 2017. And so it's also on the TSUS Board of Regents capital improvement plan as well. And so this building first began design about 2018. So about 4 years worth of design work has gone into it. And as you said, if this is approved, construction would start this summer and would be ready before the fall 26 semester. And it's perfectly located next to Supple Science and Ingram Hall. So we're creating kind of a STEM neighborhood there. Also right next to the new Canyon Residence Hall, which is formerly known as the James Street Housing Project, which is currently under construction. So happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, any questions?
No, just a statement. This is going to be a great addition to the campus, and it may help for context to know this is going on top of where the old president's residence was, and the good news is Kelly got a nice house, and this building had a place to land. So are there any objections to moving this to the full board? Hearing none, we'll move this to the full board and look forward to the presentation at the meeting. Kelly.
Thank you, Chairman Scott. Thank you.
And so we have two informational items and then a short consent agenda. The first informational item is the annual campus condition report. This is the 2023 report. At the recommendation of Chairman Scott, we actually hired a third-party firm to help, objectively identify what the current maintenance demands across the system could be. And this is based on means testing, and is considered more of a planning tool for administration as they consider in the intermediate, what their obligation will be to maintain the campuses. We also compare it relatively to the campus values as provided by the coordinating board. And I'll just move through quickly on a few of those. Lamar University, the relative deferred maintenance is 9.3%. 20% of that is associated with the Gray Library, which is currently in queue to be renovated. So you'll see a significant decrease in that as Dr. Taylor finishes that project. Sam Houston is right at 5%. Sol Ross is at 9.6%, but I'll note that 30% of that is associated with the Mountainside Dorm, which has been offline longer than I have been in this system. And it was intentionally replaced by Lobo Village. So their number, after you account for Mountainside, comes into the 6% range. Texas State is at 6.5%. LIT is at 5.7%. Orange is at 5% now, but 30% of that deferred maintenance is associated with the academic building. which is currently scheduled to be replaced. They're under construction now. Port Arthur is right around 10%, and I'll note of that 10%, a quarter of that is associated with Madison Monroe, which Dr. Renard and her team are working on an extensive renovation for that. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes the highlights of the campus condition report. And I can talk about the quarterly planning and construction report if you're ready.
Go ahead, Daniel.
All right, so the quarterly report, it begins on page 411. I'll highlight that we're at 1.4 billion. So we're up about 10% or so from last report. And set 63 projects with 60% of them under design and construction. So it's a very active time and exciting time. And then finally, we do have a final report that we include, which kind of closes the circle on these projects that go before the board, and it's for the Sam Houston Make Bridge House renovation. And Mr. Chairman, that concludes the informational items. And then we do have the consent agenda with
Yeah, are there any objections, or does anyone want to pull anything from the consent agenda? Hearing none, Daniel, the consent agenda will also be sent to the full board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it.
All right, unless there's some other business to come before the committee, I'll move that we adjourn. Any objection? Hearing none, I look forward to seeing everybody in Huntsville next week, and hope you have a good week.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.